Coming up on Network Africa. A 24-hour siege in Somalia ends after Islamist fighters stormed a hotel in the central city of Beledweyne. Officials of the Democratic Republic of Congo explore investment opportunities in South Africa. Plus, Ghana's President John Mahama meets with Burkina Faso's military leader Ibrahim Traore in Ouagadougou. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in Somalia, where security forces have been able to bring to an end a deadly 24-hour siege on a popular hotel in the central city of Beledweyne. On Tuesday, Islamist fighters stormed the Kahira Hotel as politicians, security officials and traditional elders were meeting to discuss plans for an offensive against Al-Shabaab in central Somalia. Authorities say the attack by Al-Shabaab began with a car bomb exploding, followed by gunmen entering the hotel, leading to intense clashes with security forces. According to the mayor, 7 people had been killed in the attack. However, eyewitnesses say the death toll could be higher, and Al-Shabaab claims to have killed 20 people, including government officials. The Somali forces, alongside African Union peacekeepers, continue to wage a campaign against the militants, which remain a big threat despite the ongoing military operations in the country. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, health officials lament the setback the sector is facing as a result of the crisis that's ongoing in the eastern region. 6 weeks after Rwanda-backed rebels captured 2 major cities of Goma and Bukavu, the region is lagging in its fight against the MPox outbreak. The country has the highest burden of the virus, with the epicenter in the east. Earlier, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had said fighting with the M23 rebels caused more than 600 MPox patients to flee from different hospitals. The country has seen a 31% increase in cases last week, bringing the total to close to 16,255. Now, authorities are negotiating for suspension of hostilities to allow for a humanitarian corridor that could bring about essential medical supplies into the conflict zone. In the meantime, government officials and business leaders from the Democratic Republic of Congo are in South Africa this week to explore investment opportunities between both countries. Hosted by the Africa Trade and Investment Council, a delegation of 16 officials and business leaders from the DRC will engage in key discussions, including meetings with South Africa's Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. Our South Africa correspondent, Innocent Samosa, reports.
With a shared goal of strengthening economic ties, officials and business leaders from the Democratic Republic of the Congo are in South Africa for a series of high-level engagements. The delegation, hosted by the Africa Trade and Investment Council, are exploring investment opportunities across key sectors. Discussions here are focused on strategies to enhance trade partnerships and unlock new business opportunities.
The cooperation between DRC and South Africa in the general BNC framework is dated from 2004. Since 2004, we signed the General Cooperation Agreement, we signed the Economic Cooperation Agreement, and other sectorial agreement. But when we did the last assessment of the engagement between the two countries, we found out that so many projects have been identified.
South African officials says the discussions will help strengthen economic cooperation and address trade challenges between the two nations.
The project holistically is a multi-sectoral project. What we would like to do is fundamentally first develop underlying infrastructure. The project is a construction of a roads, cities and special economic zones. Within those special economic zones, we aim to have mineral beneficiation, agro-processing, component manufacturing, as well as heavy and light industrial manufacturing. So holistically, there are a lot of sectors that we're aiming to participate in.
Are there timelines into this project?
Definitely. We've currently finished pre-feasibility. We're going through the feasibility stage now. We are aligning policy in terms of the different government bodies. We're engaging with the political entities as well as the government entities in South Africa and the DRC.
Beyond formal meetings, business leaders from both countries are engaging in networking sessions amid at fostering long-term partnerships. I had the opportunity to speak to some delegates here, and this is what they had to say.
So basically it seems really important, and with what we are doing, the mission we have is to make a development of territories, so it should be interesting for both countries. It's not possible anyway.
While discussions continue, both governments remain optimistic that this visit will lay the foundation for stronger trade and investment relations between the two nations. From Pretoria, South Africa, Innocent Samos, Channels Television News.
Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama has met with Burkina Faso's military leader Ibrahim Traore in Ouagadougou for bilateral talks. Burkina Faso is the last leg of the President Mahama's tour of the Alliance of Sahel states. In Burkina Faso, he called for the Sahelian states to do more in tackling the cancer of terrorism. President Mahama, who is back in Ghana, also discussed future collaboration and cooperation between the two nations, highlighting plans to set up a direct flight from Accra to Ouagadougou. Furthermore, Mr. Mahama announced plans to build a gas pipeline in Ghana's town of Bogotanga, adding that this pipeline could be extended to Burkina Faso. The visit comes as part of the Ghanaian leaders' efforts to form a dialogue with Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger after the three countries left the regional bloc ECOWAS. He had met earlier on with Mali's President Assimi Goïta in Bamako and Niger's leader Abdourahmane Tichiani. Mauritius is celebrating its 57th National Day with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a special guest of honor. Prime Minister Modi arrived on Tuesday for a two-day visit at the island nation. He will be holding meetings with the country's top leaders. On the agenda is the upgrading of bilateral and strategic ties and discussions on reinforcing their partnership for security and development in the Indian Ocean region. Mr. Modi's visit comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump said he would support a deal between Mauritius and Britain over the future of a joint U.S.-British military base in the Chagos Islands. New Delhi has historically backed Mauritius's claim over the Indian Ocean archipelago. In Mozambique, the northern region was battered by heavy rains and strong winds on Monday as Cyclone Jude became the third storm to hit the region in just 4 months. According to the National Institute of Meteorology, the cyclone made landfall in the morning with winds reaching 140 kilometers per hour. It later weakened to a severe tropical storm accompanied by thunderstorms as it moved inland. Well, there are no reports of casualties and the damage from the cyclone is still being assessed. The region has already been severely impacted by previous cyclones this season, which runs from November to April. Cyclone Chido struck Mozambique back in December, causing the deaths of at least 120 people and destroying nearly 120,000 homes. In mid-January this year, Cyclone Dikeledi claimed lives and destroyed almost 3,500 homes. Well, there are concerns that the storm could intensify even as it heads towards Madagascar. Well, joining us now for more on this is Charles Manguiro, the VOA's reporter in Maputo, Mozambique. Hello, Charles. Thank you for speaking to us on the program. I want to begin by asking you what is the status of the cyclone at this time? Kindly unmute your mic so we can hear you. We seem to be having audio issues with you, Charles. So kindly reconnect so we can get more updates on the cyclone in Mozambique. In the meantime, here in Lagos, the awareness exercise begins in the state to mark the 2025 World Glaucoma Week. Lagos State Ministry of Health says the state will conduct free glaucoma screenings in local government health centers, the 12 general hospitals and tertiary eye care at Lasus, Ikeja, and also make referrals for glaucoma and other vision-threatening conditions. Officials are urging Lagosians with history of the disease to prioritize annual eye screenings in order to prevent blindness.
It's the 2025 World Glaucoma Week, and with the theme Uniting for a Glaucoma-Free World. In Lagos State, officials of the Lagos State Ministry of Health is concerned about the issue of eye defect, and as part of efforts to prevent blindness, the state government is creating awareness about glaucoma. They moved from the premises of a Lausa Secretariat with different messages on glaucoma. This year's focus highlights the critical role of collaboration in early diagnosis, timely treatment, and prevention of vision loss.
As we all know, after cataract is glaucoma, and we are actually encouraging people to do eye checks at least once in a year. It's the second cause of blindness worldwide. And this awareness work, even if there's a family history of glaucoma, the siblings, the children also needs to be screened for glaucoma. It is essential that we heighten this awareness because we've realized that a lot of our people are not conscious of their health.
This work today is to make people aware that even though you are seeing so clearly, there are still so many eye diseases that you can have in the eye, especially glaucoma, that may be too late if you do not check early. So, and it is much cheaper, to treat glaucoma when it is still early compared to when you have lost your vision.
The Senior Special Assistant in the Office of the Special Advisor on Health says the Lagos State government has made significant strides in combating eye diseases by establishing comprehensive eye services across all levels of healthcare and will continue to do so for the people.
The Lagos State government, in its quest to detect early and also treat preventable causes of blindness, has established eye services at each level of healthcare, and these eye services include primary eye care services, which are provided within the primary health centers in the various local government areas in the state.
For the Permanent Secretary from the Lagos State Ministry of Health, he emphasized the importance of routine eye examinations.
It's important that we all get our eyes checked at least once a year. More importantly, if there's a family history of glaucoma, you need to check your eyes more often. And then we have trained our primary health centers also to be able to provide primary eye care. So there's no reason not to get access to treatment. As you're getting older also, it becomes more important to check your eyes.
Glaucoma is a leading cause of irreversible blindness, and the Lagos State government encourages all residents to visit primary healthcare centers as well as any of the general hospitals closer to them for regular eye screening to prevent glaucoma.
Still to come on Network Africa. Nigerian model Ololade Ayelabola sets Guinness World Record for longest distance walked by a model. Please join us again for more details. Welcome back to the program. We continue with updates from northern Mozambique. The region has been battered with heavy rains and flooding, strong winds, even as Cyclone Jude becomes the third storm to hit the region in the last 4 months. Joining us now for more on this is Charles Manguiro. He's the VOA's reporter in Maputo, Mozambique. Hello, Charles. Good to have you back. Earlier on, I was asking what the status of the cyclone is at this time. Is the region out of the woods yet? Charles, kindly unmute your mic.
Unmuted.
Yes, you can go on with your response.
I was saying from the reports we are getting from the northern province of Nampula now, from the meteorology agency there, the cyclone itself has been downgraded into a tropical cyclone, not as severe as it was since Sunday. But at the moment, it is still dumping a lot of rainfall, which is causing a lot of damage to roads. Many roads have been swept away, and many homes, most of which are built on very flimsy material, are being destroyed. As many people now are still looking for shelter in schools and in churches. They've got nowhere to live because most of their homes were destroyed by the cyclone because of the wind and the strong winds, and their homes were just destroyed. This is the second time that cyclone is hitting the northern part of Mozambique inside 2 months.
Yeah, and the country is no stranger to cyclones. I mean, in the space of 4 months since December, this cyclone Jude is the third storm to hit. Why is the country, so prone to this natural disaster?
Yes, in the past, the trend of the cyclones used to be in the southern part of Mozambique, and then next it was the central part. But now, for the past 2 years, cyclones have been smashing the northern parts of Mozambique, especially the northern region, mostly the coastal provinces of Mozambique. These regions are very poor in terms of the population density. There are very few people living there, most of whom are living on peasant farming. It has been the problem because there are no access roads. Actually, the socio-economic conditions in these areas are very poor. The homes there are built in very flimsy material, which are not resistant to any climate disaster.
And
the government every time has been saying...
Yeah, you can continue.
I was saying the government has been struggling to contain the scourge of the disasters there, because each time they're trying to rebuild for the people's homes or any resilient material, a new cyclone comes. As you can remember, Cyclone Dikelede and Chido, where they are very previous, it was just in December, and most of the infrastructure where there was destroyed. I'm talking of access roads and bridges. As the government was trying to rebuild from the ashes, another cyclone came and it hit. They are always caught unprepared. Although the government approved what it calls a contingency plan, it has never worked before because the cyclone comes whenever they're always trying to prepare on how to deal with a new phenomenon.
Yes, I was going to ask about, contingency plans in place, because this is something that happens often. We know the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, is raising concerns and warning that children would be affected in these areas because these particular areas have the highest number of children. What is the government, doing in response to this and helping this particular demographic?
It has been a problem after another problem. As I said before, that this is one of the most poorest regions of Mozambique with almost nothing in terms of infrastructure. There are no roads, there are no bridges, everything is, even schools. There are very few schools in this region. So whenever there is a disaster, people have got no shelter. They have been struggling to get food. They lack almost everything they need to have for their survival. Agriculture has been very bad because sometimes it has not been raining and people have been struggling to get food because of the poor rainfall in the past years. And whenever the rain comes, it comes with problems like cyclones and disasters.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Charles
It is very difficult for the government to contain or deal with.
We'll have to leave it at that, I'm afraid. Thank you, VOA's reporter in Maputo, Charles Manguiro. Thank you for your time.
Thank you and good afternoon.
Well, a Nigerian senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has reported her recent suspension from the Nigerian Senate to the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU. That's an international organization of national parliaments with the primary purpose of promoting democratic governance, accountability, and cooperation. The lawmaker has told the IPU that she is seeking justice on her suspension. According to her, the Senate's action is illegal and indicative of the challenges women face in Nigeria. The Senate had suspended Akpoti-Uduaghan last week, accusing her of violating its rules just days after she submitted a petition against Senate President Godswill Akpabio, accusing him of sexual harassment. Our next report outlines the events that led to her address at the IPU.
Much ado about a seat. Yes, indeed. This particular seat brought about heightened force and concern.
Pursuant to Order 6, President of the Senate decided to rearrange this seat. And I'm surprised to report that Senator Natasha, having given another seat, refused to vacate her former seat in flagrant violation of our rules.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan gets to the Red Chamber, was asked to move elsewhere, and that's when everything went south.
To speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, Order 10 on privileges.
Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising.
It all snowballs quickly. From a refusal to move to another seat, a sexual harassment accusation takes center stage.
The petition is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate.
Attempt any sexual harassment on the said distinguished Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan or any other woman, for that matter. I have the highest regards for women. I also wish to state that I also have 4 beautiful daughters. So at no time will I ever harass any woman.
An explosive allegation that is swiftly dismissed by the Senate Ethics Committee.
Our distinguished colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, was properly notified of this meeting, and I'm hoping that she will be here to give us her side of the story.
Days later, the Senate suspends her for alleged misconduct, including speaking without recognition and making what it terms abusive remarks against the leadership.
That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023, as amended, for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium.
The controversy assumes an international dimension as the Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan takes a battle beyond the National Assembly to the Inter-Parliamentary Union.
On the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended.
Here, she seeks international intervention over her recent suspension. She does not appear as one who is about to go down without a fight, though.
My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women would go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue, it's a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for simply demanding fairness.
As the controversy intensifies, this story does appear to test the limits of parliamentary discipline and gender rights advocacy in Nigeria's legislature, as Nigerians and the global community continue to watch and see what eventually plays out at the end of the day.
In the meantime, the IPU has responded to Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's complaint. The IPU president, Tulia Jackson, acknowledged the concerns and says the organization would investigate the matter thoroughly.
There was a matter that arose during the first session, which we had this morning. The matter that was raised by our colleague from Nigeria, Senator Natasha, and because all of us heard what she said, and it only serves us better if I put a word in what she has said. So I would like to say we have heard her concerns, and having heard her, it would have been an opportunity for all of us to understand more about what she has said. But because we listened only on her side, as an institution, as IPU, we will be taking the concerns that have been raised, not only taking her side, but also giving a chance to listen to the other side, as it is a custom for IPU. And after having listened to the other side, we will take steps as necessary. So I thought it was necessary for us to say a word about it and then be able to take it further.
And finally, on the program, a model and final year computer science student at the University of Lagos, Ololade Ayelabola, has made history with her groundbreaking attempt to walk 130.62 kilometers on a catwalk. She has officially set a Guinness World Record, which has been verified for the longest distance walked by a model. Her monumental feat involved completing 2,058 laps at the Indoor Sports Center of Unilag. This follows a record that was established 41 years ago by Roberta Brown and Lorraine McCourt, who walked 114.4 kilometers in Ireland back in 1983. Ololade's initial target was to walk 120 kilometers over 96 hours, but she surpassed her target, beginning the walk on October 1st, Nigeria's Independence Day, and finishing on October 5th at the Unilag Indoor Sports Center. Well, congratulations to her. That's it on the program for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.